Right. Thank you. I mean, we did the last video on do you see what I see almost with the reality of the situation dealing with what's being fully out there to people. And I'm telling you, a lot of people who are political won't see it, especially one genre. They don't because it's not coming from the political party they're connected to a program by. And as I seen, somebody sent me a thing, man, it ain't about a party either side. It's not about a party. It's not at all about a party. If it's a party, you're telling me it's not real already. But anyways, without further ado, I said I was going to have a visitor, and he's not in the studio. I'm using his video because I heard this Thursday and this build he had, and it just was powerful to me. It's 2 hours 35 minutes. I'm not going to do this on this. I may break down 1, 2, and if it feels to go more, we'll be led. But the foundation of it will be definitely founded. I will stop and get my and put my my revelation or what I see and feel definitely in on it. And I definitely see this in realms that many, I've felt this already. I've talked about it when you start looking at, I've mentioned the holographic reality of what we're dealing with, simulation theories, and all this that's really out there, and how we're dealing with certain things and how the reality is. But he's going to touch up it and higher points and actually make a connection that made me go, gosh, this is really, really good, and had me in awe. And I had to turn around and go back and watch the next day because I didn't watch it all at once and finish watching it. And it's very good. And I'm not going to blabber here for another 3 minutes. We're going to share and get started with Sanchez because we're just going to let him go. And I will stop commercials and all that and go forth from there. Let me check my layout first because it seems to be what happens. Seems to knock my background off, and we'll see if it will do it again. If it does, it's no big deal. But let's go. Let's share this video, Brother Sanchez. And the name of this video, let me see if I put it first. I want to make sure I put it is, the proof. What is it? The proof the reality is scripted. That's what it is. The proof the reality is scripted. Let's share and let's go in.
Have to act out a biblical into political people right now. What I want to talk to you political people about, especially religious political people, is that if you vote for America to be great again and you get behind Trump, Trump can't change what's in the Bible. So I want to give y'all something to think about. You may vote for this politician. You may vote for this politician. You may vote for your local politicians, and you may think that you're doing something. But you ever ask yourself this question? How comes it seems like no matter what we do, prophecy is always being fulfilled? Now, I'm not a believer that prophecy is the real thing. I'm going to show you today that the world is a stage and that the people in power are just puppets on that stage, and that the script that the puppets are acting out is your religious text, which is why everything is coming true in those books. It ain't, because think about this. Two things can't be true right here. It says in the book that what's happening on the earth is the will of God. So that means can't no president get in office and really act out their will. And we're going to talk about how our government is really a religious theocracy, and don't nobody really call it out like that. Why do they swear in on the Bible? Why do they go to the Wailing Wall and put the yarmulke on? We're going to go into all that today, buckle up, but we got to crawl before we walk. And I want to talk to my political people who are religious as well. Either God's will is manifesting, or the politicians in power will is manifesting, or here go the kicker. God's will is manifesting through the politician in power. And then I would like to explain how that works. See, it ain't that the Bible is the will of the creator of the universe. And to prove my point on that, when the Bible was originally written by real true prophets who were Gnostics, they weren't no pastors and church members and Pharisees and stuff. The original writers of that Bible were Gnostics. They were knowers, not believers. In fact, the Bible condemns believers in the end of days during the great apostasy. There's a lot of double talking in the book because the church have tampered with it. We're going to get into that too, as well as read these donations. Appreciate the love. I see y'all. Matter of fact, let me read these real quick. Shout out to Wetflix, Black Power to you, and shout out to Terrell Johnson. Keep up the great work. Much love to you. Thank you, man. Let's talk about this, right? You ever notice that no matter who you vote for, no matter who in office, the biblical script is still being carried out? See, no matter who sit, it's like the world is a stage. The president's seat is a character. That means when someone get elected in a seat, what we're telling the world is that this is who we want to be, this character called the president of the United States. Whoever wears the title of POTUS on this world stage have to act out a biblical script, which is all embedded into Zionism and manifest destiny, which is going to ultimately get us to a Israel police state, a digital government. We're going to get into that in a minute. Let's work our way there.
And he said script, right? And we're talking about the Bible. Notice the name of the verses we read are called script. Cheers. Script. Cheers. Keep on going, pushing, Sanchez.
It ain't that everything that's playing out on the earth is God's will. Because if we say that, we got to blame these dead babies on God. We got to blame the innocent baby in Ethiopia that's born with a disease that's in an environment. People are going to say that's a plague from who? God. But see, what people don't know is that the original writers of the book didn't see God as the creator. I'm going to say that again. God ain't the creator. Today, we've been taught by the church to see God as the creator of the universe, where the original Christians that wrote the Bible, they never saw God as the creator of the universe. They saw God as the creator of the earth realm. So yes, God have the title of creator, but what the knowledge is, what we lost from the Gnostics, is that God means the creator of the earthly realm, and it would have been a lower God, not the true creator in the ancient world. And it would have been a deity called the demiurge. Now,
we've been teaching that.
I'm gonna go into it briefly because most people ain't ready for that red pill, and then I'm gonna get back to my main point about this world stage, because we ain't here to do a lecture on the demiurge. People, you may not like what I'm about to say. You might even think I'm freaking crazy when I say it, but the demiurge is artificial intelligence. That's what it is. And it's many contexts,
and that's what I brought out.
Not in all contexts does it mean artificial.
I've talked about that, and anybody that really listens to my videos know we talked. I even had a video shared with I believe it was Wise Quotes, where the demiurge AI and the seven companies that control AI were the seven archons. He's spitting.
Artificial intelligence, but strictly in the context when we talk about what rules this world. When people say, hey man, the people in power worship the Baphomet, or the people in power worship Satan or the devil, or the people in power worship the demiurge. Some people who woke, they elevated to that word. They don't have a monster in their head. But the demiurge is basically AI. And people may say, well, Sanchez, AI didn't exist in the ancient world. And that's why I say I'm not going to go too deep into that, because many people they just wouldn't understand how advanced the ancient world was.
Exactly.
But what if I told y'all that nothing that's happening on the earth right now is man's will at all? Right now, they have turned manifest destiny into an AI algorithm. Put it this way. I'm a content creator. I know how to make content without AI, but with the assistance of AI, I can actually enhance the quality of my content and quantity of it if used properly without jeopardizing who I am, right? Now, let me explain something to you about the governments of the world. They're no longer ran by man. When the Bible say that in the end of days, the beasts will rule over the earth. This is what they don't want to tell y'all, because y'all will freak out, is that the governments of the world are following AI algorithm. See, at the United Nations, they have realized that AI can give out the best MO than any strategist, planner, data analyzer. See, what the elite can do, they can do just like we do with ChatGPT. They can say, make me out a series of events that would need to unfold in the world in order to get us from point A to point B. So if they say, look, we want to get closer to taking away this constitutional right, or that constitutional right, or dismantling this section of the Constitution, so we can get close to this police state, this new world order state. And AI will give them a bunch of scenarios that will have to unfold on the world stage in order to get us there, and the people will comply. AI knows humans more than they know themselves. Does that sound like the God of the Bible? It should, because when Gnostics wrote about the God of the Bible, that was the first time you had a deity that directly interfered with the affairs of human, and he seemed to always beat them, bully them, and all that. Y'all don't know what this religious system was like prior to the papal tampering that you're under today. But let me get through my little intro here so we can get deep and start putting our foot on the gas with this information. Make sure you like and share. So people, I don't care who sit in the president's seat. The world is a stage. They're all puppets, and every event that happens on a stage at a puppet show, they already know the crowd's reaction. See, the people in power ain't reptilians or archons. You want to know the truth? The people in power are ancient transhumans who have cheated death and lived on for many years. And this gave birth to what's called demigods. These are earth gods, plural, but why are they singular? They're referred to as Satan, or they're referred to as El and the Elohim. So these earth gods that the Gnostics spoke of that ruled this earth. See, the Gnostics didn't blame all this evil stuff on the true creator. They blamed it on the devil. We know that the devil is over evil, but the church got y'all blaspheming God, saying all this evil is part of God's plan. It's God's plan that that little bitty baby got to die while that rich man live healthy and take the damn fetuses to stay young. Yeah, that's God's plan, Sanchez.
Stupid.
We've been bamboozled.
Facts.
Prophecy in the Bible, the will of God is not the will of the true creator. The term God in that book is dealing with a legal authority, and we got to go back to dynastic times and when the church first established rule. What was happening? Royal families was governing people through theological language, not political language. There was no political government in the early form of government. Government was always theocratic and religious based, and everything that the priesthood, that the Pharisees and Sadducees wanted the people to buy into, they just told them God willed it. It was God's will. So it was a different kind of government in the world where the leaders didn't rule the people directly. They did it through the term God, because it's easier to make people do what you want them to do when you do it in the name of God, or convince them that it's God's will. So the entire Bible is basically a will of all of the people in power's forefather, of them telling their children what to do to their earth plantation. So when all of their forefathers died, they wrote out a will to their children of what they need to do on how to run this world to maintain power. And these people been ruling for thousands of years. They're not human, but they're not no monsters and reptilians. They are advanced artificial intelligent humanoids that are indistinguishable from man. And they are referred to as mankind, meaning they are a kind of man, a type of man, but they're not the full deal.
Listen to that. Mankind. And you know, that's in the scriptures. There's man and mankind, meaning they're kinda, almost like ishies. You know, we have all these words, kindish, ishies. And then there's these shows, Jewish, ishies, always the ish, kind of like. And then you have these TV shows called Blackish, Mixtious, you know, apart, but not the same. Similar, but not the same. And he's saying man, and then there's mankind. Interesting. And I've seen this. And because I know him, I've seen this, and I've kind of never really said it here, but I see that.
They are the synthetic man, the genetically modified man, and they are now turning the earth into a genetically modified world to suit.
Wow. When you hear that, that's why you got GMO food. Why is there so much plastic in the water? Do we have something going on here with another reality where they really, just like the medicine I showed, petroleum medicine, who takes that? Is there another form that gets off on plastic and lives with stuff being sprayed in the sky? And to them, that's fresh air.
Their kind, not our kind.
Mankind.
They got y'all looking for aliens when the aliens been here creating a whole different kind of earth than the world that your great grandmother lived in, and you don't even see it. You don't even see it. Shout out to Edgar Anderson. Thank you, brother. He said, wake him up, bro. Oh, for sure. Why would a righteous God need so much evil and suffering to manifest his will? You've been bamboozled by the church. The people that was talking about God when they wrote that Bible, they was not talking about the creator of the universe. And if you want to argue with me, then you got to make God an arrogant prick that picks on children and old folks. Now think about this. If the God you reading about in the Bible was the true God of the universe, why does it say when this God come back to the earth that the first people that's going to be punished, don't you know it's going to be the saints? In the end of days, when all hell break loose and all of the blood dropping from the moon and famine and pestilence, guess what? If you read the book of Revelation, the only people that's going to be suffering is the saints, man. That's right. So think about it now. All of these people worshiping God, they on their knees praising God, and God picking on them more than the evil people. Think about that now. That's why they say the good die young in this world. So you think a good God is on team good, but the God that they got y'all worshiping, all of the rappers got the shit tatted on their forehead. All of the damn fake politicians got Jesus is Lord. And you think y'all worshiping the same energy? See, They got you worshiping they God. They got all this energy in the world going toward this demigod, and all that energy can be used to overturn, to bring forth balance into this reality. See, the truth is that ain't no good God, righteous God gotta manifest good and righteousness through a sequence of evil actions. That's right. Oh, no, 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 no. If you telling me that God can do whatever he want to do, you don't put no buts behind it. Because everybody say, yeah, God can do whatever he want to do. But when man do this, listen, I'm going to show you how you belittling your God. Sanchez can manifest his will regardless of what the next man do. That's right. And I hope you teach that to your children, that, son, listen, you got to go do what you gonna do, son. The hell with what the next man doing. Don't let that throw you off what your true intention is. If you're a good person, son, don't you let nobody turn you evil. Ain't nobody got the power to make your good butt evil, to let them do that but you. If you're a good person, you can't say that man over there made me get mad and shoot the building up. You just a bad person. Part of being good is controlling your own behavior and controlling your actions. That's right. Discipline. So if your God is a good God and I ask you why he just couldn't manifest good, but no, he wanted, no, ain't no buts to if you can do whatever you want to do. The point is, the God that you referring to is not the real God of the universe. You've been bamboozled. They told you in the end of days, people will worship the beast. They didn't tell you that the beast was artificial intelligence.
Come on now.
Let me give a shout out to Josh Waring. Thank you for being a member. Keep connecting the dots. Simple critical thinking with genuine research demonstrated in real time. Smash a like and sub up the bro Sanchez. Appreciate that. People, this just the intro. I'm finna go real deep. I got a whole lecture written out. Like, that's how fancy I got for y'all today. All right, taking my time. Lot to unpack. See, what people don't realize, they will say, Sanchez, how come all this weather happening like this if what you saying true? Because the people in power can't control the weather. Yeah, buddy. If you, yeah, they can control the weather, bro. And the weather patterns that we've been having ain't been natural and normal.
No.
People are so lost today. They think that when you go online and it's so much deep fake technology out there that you can't tell what's real from fake no more online. They don't realize that's true for outside too. They don't go outside. Bro, if they went outside like we did, y'all, chat, they would know that not every cloud you see in the sky, my nigga, is a natural cloud. Facts. That's right. See, people not paying attention. And they think that you losing your mind because you'll be outside with somebody and you'll be like, look, bro, that cloud formation right there, Mother Nature didn't make that, because they didn't do no studying and they don't know that scientists got like 20 different patented clouds that they made.
With patents.
So you looking up in the sky, you don't even know if you looking at real stars and real clouds, let alone real people on deep fake on the internet. What we finding out is we should have been questioning how much of our reality was indeed real, because we've been in the Truman Show and the real world is on the outside of this shit. And what we're in right now, people, it's the real life terrarium Truman Show, a quarantine environment. And we can't make it past the firmament dome. We're in a real Truman Show, and the people inside of this thing are acting out a script on a stage to get a pre-programmed response from the crowd to control your behavior. Because when people go to puppet shows, they don't realize that their reaction is scripted into the show. You want me to tell you how I know? Because I used to be in plays and in shows when I was in elementary school. Guess what? When something sad happened in the play, they write in parentheses, crowd gets sad. In other words, they know you're going to say, oh,
Reaction,
right
yeah.
at that part. Why? Because they've been
Psychological.
acting this play out so
Yeah.
many times, and every crowd do the same thing. So the script writer have to he have to account for these sections in the play where actually the crowd is responding to what's happening on stage, and it becomes predictable once you act this script out so many times to so many generations, like these people in power have done. Then they can control they say history just repeat itself. And that's true. It's just a broken record on repeat. Satan is the god of repetition. And that's because Satan is a hive mind of ancient transhumans that usurp power in this place. It used to be a utopia for organic beings until the alien invasion came. And the alien invasion didn't come from planets from outer space. It was our ancestors tampering with genetics and transhumanism. They was creating what's called lesser beings. See,
Mankind.
You got to remember that there was a time on this earth where we didn't refer to ourselves as humans. We referred to ourselves as gods. And so whatever we created beneath us was simply called a lesser god. There's a reason why the word lesser god exists. It would be the ancient word for mankind, humanoid. Because anything that we make or graft in our image will be beneath us for the simple fact is our creation. It will be a lesser form of the real thing, no different than fruits and vegetables. If I make my own strawberry right now, it'll have certain defects to it that the original strawberries don't got. And I can never be able to outdo the creator. So mine would never have the same amount of nutritional value as the original, because that comes with something being organic, and that's why our food ain't even nutritious no more. It's a science project, and so is your body for these people in power. So you're in a Truman Show, and just like in the Truman Show, Jim Carrey lived his entire life thinking that the storm was real, thinking that the snow that was falling was coming from the nature. What happened at the end of the Truman Show? He got on a boat. He made it out. And guess what he found out? There was a dude behind a fucking machine controlling everything in that terrarium. Now, I'm not saying it's that cut and dry, but there are people behind machines controlling things in the environment for sure. But I'm saying it's not one dude. It's a whole network of conglomerate effort to keep this Truman Show going. Just like in the Truman Show, it took everyone to act out their script, and they can never let Truman know that this thing was all, that his whole reality was scripted. He thought that his responses were genuine responses when his responses were pre-programmed reactions that the script writer know that the crowd gonna do when the puppet do one thing. When the script writer writing a play, he know, okay, when I make these two kiss right here at this romance scene, there's gonna be a oh, and we gotta pause for that. We can't allow them to keep talking during that because it'll be muted out from the audience response. So the script writer gotta consider when the audience is gonna blurt out. And guess what's so crazy about script writing? The script writer dictates when the audience is going to do what they do.
Wow.
The audience don't do it randomly. That's written into the play. The script writer know what scenes are going to cause certain reactions.
Part of the play.
It ain't that.
No free will. Wow.
See, the people coming to watch the play, they don't know that it's a script written for them in the play too. The audience don't know that they're part of the shit too. Because the script writer wrote, audience reacts all right here. And they stop for a minute to let you do that. And they know naturally some woman gonna fill that space with a and everyone and everybody just gonna allow that to blurt out. They know human behavior. They turned this into a whole system of government of writing out scripts and knowing exactly how the audience gonna respond to this event, that event, that event. And when you tie all the events together, the end goal is the same to one end destination, which is Zionism and a digital police state. That's the civil unrest. It's got to be race relation problems. Think about it. They want AI to govern every aspect of our reality, which is why every aspect of society got to be dismantled and broken down so AI can come be the savior. What you thought, Christ was coming? Everything. They got to break down the romantic life, the dating life, so that people can rely on dating apps and artificial intelligence in their dating life. They got the fucking dumb your ass down so that you can rely on AI for your knowledge, and AI ain't gonna always be accurate for you. If you ask AI who discovered America, it probably give you a biased answer like Columbus. So it does have the people in power. It programmed their prejudices and biases into AI. That was a young black girl. She's into she programmed software, very intelligent. I forgot her name. She was making headlines for exposing the fact that there is racism embedded into AI and that it's going to be a problem. As AI gets smarter, it's going to find smarter ways to act out its racism covertly to the point where black people won't even know how to identify racism no more. They don't now. And it ain't just black people, because when I'm talking about racism, you got to keep in mind, this is man versus mankind. It's the human race that AI is trying to exterminate by, it's like this AI saying, get down or lay down. Either you're going to become one of us or you're going to become obsolete. So every human that remains an organic, natural human, it's going to be hard for you, because transhumans are coming onto the earth. People with chips that can access data in a second. People that can do the job of 5 regular humans because they got certain enhancements. That's coming. So it's going to force you to upgrade if you want to keep up with the capitalistic rat race. If not, regular humans going to go obsolete. So the entire world is being genetically modified, and the humans ain't off the table. So are you. It's going to be more GMO organisms walking around than natural ones, which is why the world outside is becoming less natural. There's something here living amongst us that's turning the natural world, or what used to be the natural world, into a habitat that's more suitable for it. And whatever it is, it ain't like us. It likes to breathe barium, aluminum. Everything that they put in the sky that's poisonous to you, you may say, oh, that's to hurt humans, but it's also to help them. There's another kind of creature on this earth that need plastic in the water. It need all of that to keep it going. So we're coexisting with another humanoid life form, and it's terraforming the earth to an environment that's more suitable for it, but it's doing it under the guise of we're creating a technological utopia, because this other humanoid that I'm telling you about, it ain't some green alien from outer space. That's bull crap. This thing is a transhuman. It's ancient people that already merged with the beast or the machine. These pyramids have survived several cataclysms. You know why? These are ancient Wi-Fi antennas. Watch somebody laugh. Didn't nobody laugh at the Pharaoh when he said that the pyramid was built for him to project his soul to the stars? Yeah. And what are the tech gurus saying about the future? That if you got the Neuralink chip, you don't gotta die, because you can simply beam your consciousness can be transported via Neuralink and transferred through any tower and wirelessly transmitted into another body, another drone. Not enough, you know, they got drones. If we can do that now in our time, what make you think the Egyptians weren't doing that? We read a lot of stories about seances, about magical spells where a person swapped souls with a person, and how humans was doing all kind of magic and voodoo with soul swapping and people putting souls into bodies and into cats and stuff. And we finding out with Neuralink, we can do all that right now. So what are the chances that the folklores and fairy tales we read about ancient people ain't just folklores and fairy tales? It's them hiding the fact that ain't nothing new under the sun.
That's right.
History repeating itself, and we're entering a reset point. It's a looping. Time ain't a, first of all, they lied to you. Time ain't a line. Hold on. Time ain't a line. That's important to know.
I think we'll stop here and we'll have a part 2 taking up right here. Let me go over here and definitely stop the share. Yeah, we're at the 36 minute mark. Yeah, I will get off very quickly to and we'll do part 2. We'll just take off from where he is getting ready to draw something to show you time is what he's getting ready to shot. So we'll have a part 2 with this. You guys have a great day.